So today we're going to talk about some picture books for grown-ups. That's right, we're going to discuss some of my favorite lesser-known, lesser-appreciated graphic novels. Today we've got 2 on the list. And without further ado, here it goes. Everyone knows the classics: Mouse, Berserk, Watchmen, but I want to talk about some lesser-known works, ones that go underappreciated by graphic novel and manga fans, that contribute just as much to the richness and greatness of the medium as others. The content of these books is not appropriate for children. They contain strong language, scenes of violence, and adult themes. Reader discretion is advised. You can read manga your entire life and never hear of Inio Asano, and that's a crime. Inio Asano is manga's best held secret in the West. Personally, I love a lot of his books, but the only one I feel like I could recommend to anyone is Solanin. Solanin is a fairly simple story. A young woman, Mieko, and her boyfriend Taneda live together. They graduated from college, quit their old lives as youngins, and decided to get regular jobs. Mieko works at an office, Taneda is a graphic designer. They make decent money, and they hate their lives. At one point, they snap and decide to do the least mature and least responsible thing that you can possibly imagine, and quit their jobs to go start a band. Taneda gives himself an ultimatum. In 1 year, he can either make it as a singer, songwriter, and guitarist, or he can quit music forever. What I think I love about Solanin is that it's not a story about making it big. Solanin isn't a coming-of-age story. It's a coming-to-terms with age story. It's not a story of, what do I want to be when I grow up? It's a story of accepting who you've become now that you have grown up. And it's a story about learning that sometimes you aren't even in control over everything that'll happen on the path you've set forward for your future. Some things you'll have to plan around and figure out as you go. Friendships change, relationships change, the apartment that you just got, the job that you finally landed, the salary that you're now getting paid. All of it's very new, but you're also hyper aware of how it can all be taken away. It's a very insecure and scary time. I think Solanin speaks to that feeling more than a lot of books that I've read. It's one of my favorites for that reason, and I would really recommend it. Unfortunately, we don't have a copy in our library, so you're going to have to get it through ILL, but please ask to have it added to our collection if you can. Solanin by Inio Asano. It is one of the best manga I've ever read, and easily, I would say it can be one of your favorites too. Blankets is the memoir of comic artist Craig Thompson as he recounts his troubled adolescence in the Midwest. Thompson recalls enduring abuse, struggles with faith, and finding comfort in his first love. I could recommend this one on its art alone. He finds so many different motifs and ways of communicating ideas through shapes and simple images, and combining them into larger, more complex pictures, that it justifies reading a book with pictures well into your 30s. While the story depicts real events that actually happened to Craig Thompson, he finds freedom in abstraction. Oftentimes, he uses visuals as metaphors to make things more real to feelings, sensations, and thoughts than to realistic events. Feelings of hopelessness are often depicted as monster hands dragging Craig down into the depths. Feelings of hope often depicted as flight. In it, nightmares follow them in their waking moments. One might wonder, what's so interesting about reading the memoir of some comic artist? Well, firstly, if you grew up as a misfit in a mostly rural community, then you'll find it very relatable. Secondly, it tends to get overlooked. There are a lot of graphic novels that are about people's lives that are usually considered very good. Most of the best ones. Persepolis, Mouse, Fun Home, and this one doesn't have the historical gravitas or being ahead of its time that those ones do. But it is still really unique and really interesting in its own way. It pushes the medium forward by its use of art, It is passionately told and beautifully drawn. And further, it's a demonstration of what the best of graphic novels can do. So, if you have a chance, I would really recommend checking out Blankets and picking it up at your local library. So those are two graphic novels that tend to get overlooked. If you're interested in art or graphic novels, manga, I would recommend checking them out. So until next time, I'm Phil Peterson with the Calcasieu Parish Public Library, and I'll see you in the next one.